Independence Day Resurgence. This is a movie that exists. Let's just take a moment to let that sink in. This is the sequel to the original Independence movie that came out 20 years ago in 1996. And this one is directed by the same director, Rowan Emmerich, I think that's his name? And this one stars Jeff Goldblum, not Thor, not Will Smith, not Mae Whitman, and Bill Pullman, and a whole bunch of other people that I don't care about at all. So what's the plot of Independence Day Resurgence? Well, the aliens come back. So going into Independence Day Resurgence, I wasn't really expecting much, because the first one, while really fun, wasn't really even that great. It was like, I know a lot of people really do like Independence Day. I like it too. It's fun, it's ridiculous, but it's not amazing. It's like a B movie, and that's all it really is. It's not going for the best alien movie ever. It's just a fun movie with a lot of charisma and energy. And Independence Day Resurgence, I wasn't really expecting to be great at all. I was hoping for it to reach the same heights as the first movie in regards to ridiculous, just trying to be fun, nothing else. But I also had a feeling that this movie would be pretty mediocre, and I'm gonna have to go with the latter because this movie is not very good. What is there to enjoy in Independence Day Resurgence? Well, there's some decent performances. I mean, Jeff Goldblum is awesome. I mean, you can't go wrong with Jeff Goldblum. He's the best guy ever. Jeff Goldblum is so much fun in all his movies, like Jurassic Park. He's my favorite character of Jurassic Park. He's incredible in Jurassic Park. And Independence Day, that's another great performance from him. And Jeff Goldblum is by far the shining point of this movie. Jeff Goldblum is by far the thing that you want to see. He's the best character in the movie. He carries the entire thing. But another thing that definitely carries this movie is that the visuals are really good. They're surprisingly really great, and like, especially because this is 20 years after the first movie, they were really able to improve the visuals. And there's also some really great humor in this movie. Definitely not as good as the first one. There's not as much jokes that hit, but there is definitely some good laughs in there. And the action is really, really fun. It's fun to watch. The humans fighting the aliens is just so much fun, especially the climax. When I was watching it, I consistently kept thinking that I was playing an arcade game. Because that's how it felt in the action scenes of this movie. But the thing with Independence Day Resurgence is that it basically suffers from Jurassic World syndrome. And what I mean by that is that Jurassic World had basically one character you cared about. And that was Chris Pratt. You only cared about him. Anytime there was tension in that movie, it revolved around Chris Pratt being in trouble. And he was the only character you cared about. Everyone else you wanted to get eaten. This is in Independence Day Resurgence on a way larger scale, because this movie has so many characters thrown at you constantly. There's way too many characters and subplots that you just don't care about. Liam Hemsworth is essentially just the same character he always is. He's just being Liam Hemsworth. He has his funny moments. Is he anything great? Not really. He's just passable. He's fine, I guess. What's his name? I think his name is Brett Spiner. I think that's how you say his name. I really like him in Star Trek as Data. Data is one of the best next-gen characters, and he's awesome as Data, and he has his moments in Independence Day Resurgence, but I think he has a little bit too much screen time, because like his jokes don't always hit. But it was really dumb because his character just woke up from a 20-year coma, even though he supposedly died in the first movie, and then he just wakes up. An alien strangles him, and that somehow puts him in a 20-year coma, and he wakes up on the exact day that the aliens come back. Will Smith was probably the best character in the first movie, along with Jeff Goldblum. Him and Jeff Goldblum were like the main duo that you really cared about, and they had so much charisma together. And his absence is really sorely felt in this movie, because he is replaced by his son. And this guy is so bland. I didn't care about him at all. They tried to make you care about this dude because his father's dead. His father died, and they tried to make you care about him. They tried to give him good, fun dialogue, and they tried to make him a character that was grieving the loss of his father, but he does nothing with that, and his character is so boring. If this guy died, I wouldn't have cared at all, but if Will Smith died in the first movie, I would have cared. And the fact that he is just killed off in the middle of the movies because Will Smith wanted too much money is kind of a sign that this movie shouldn't have been made. And then there's the president's daughter, who should have been played by Mae Whitman, because Mae Whitman played her in the first movie. Really talented actress. I love her as Katara in the Last Airbender show, but she's just replaced with this different actress. I heard she's talented in other things, but they could have cast Mae Whitman. Mae Whitman is still doing movies today. Why did she have to recast her? She's still a talented actress, still doing movies. And this actress is also just really bland. Like, every scene she's in, she just seems like she doesn't want to be there. It's like every other actor in this movie just seems like they just have to do it because it's Independence Day and they have to tolerate it, and they're just there because they're there. There's just so many characters in this movie that it would take me forever to mention them all. The new President of the United States is just kind of bland. She's barely there. Jeff Goldblum's dad character, he was fine, I guess, but he had no place in this movie at all. He just has this subplot with the kids in a car. Who cares about these kids in a car? They have way too much screen time. They're just these dumb kids that are like, oh, where's my mommy? And they're just in this car, and it's just a subplot about these kids. And nobody cares about it at all, and their subplot goes nowhere. They have no relevance to the movie at all. Why are they here? And then there's also this character that's just really annoying. I think his character was called Floyd or something. He just runs around saying random crap at people. He's such an annoying character. He's just trying to be funny, and it doesn't work. Like, there's literally this scene where he walks up to Brett Spiner, and he just goes like, hey, is there anything I can do to help? And then he's just like, yeah, back off. They're even acknowledging how stupid of a character he is. But I also did enjoy Bill Pullman returning as the President of the United States, because he's older. He's not the President anymore, but he was, and he was really fun. I really enjoyed him in this movie. But the thing that is really missing from Independence Day Resurgence is that there's not as much charisma. It's just a movie that you just have to watch. The humor's not as good. It's just the exact same thing as the first movie, and just the charisma's gone. Will Smith being missing really affected this movie because he had so much charisma and he was awesome in the first movie, and then they just don't have him because money. So guys, honestly, Independence Day Resurgence is a sequel that probably shouldn't have been made, but I can't deny that I had fun with it. Like, the action scenes, still so much fun. I was like having so much fun. And Jeff Goldblum, as always, is fun and a really great performance. But there's one thing I didn't mention, is that the end of this movie, the last, not the climax, but the last literally like minute of the movie, they set up Independence Day 3. And it's the most hilarious, lazy setup I've ever seen. My jaw literally dropped. And when the movie ended, I was like, did they actually do that? Are you serious? Guys, I'm gonna give Independence Day Resurgence a C. So guys, if you saw Independence Day Resurgence, comment and tell me what you thought. Subscribe, like, do all that stuff. And I'm also seeing The Shallows probably tomorrow, and I have other Spielberg reviews coming, as you already know, and a review for The Last Airbender at some point in the future for 100 subscribers. Yes, good. Bye-bye now.